Hello, I'm Carolyn Herbert from the Finance News Network, and joining me from Plukka is Managing Director Natalia Obolensky. Natalia, welcome to Sydney.
Thank you for having me.
Natalia, first up, can you start by giving us a quick recap of the business and your growth strategy?
Plukka is an international multi-brand jewellery company. We've got a permanent store in Hong Kong and a permanent store in London and a global e-commerce platform. I'll start as well by addressing the name. Plukka is a combination of the word pluck, meaning courage, and pukka, meaning reliable, upstanding. And what we do is we find the most courageous and creative jewelers, and we ensure that they are indeed reliable and genuine, and we bring that offering to our customers.
And Natalia, you're new to the position of Managing Director. Can you tell us a bit about your background?
My background is as a management consultant with Bain & Company. From there I went on to complete my MBA from INSEAD and then founded my own business called City Swish. It was an on-demand consumer goods, consumer lifestyle services business in London, which I sold to a competitor at the end of last year, and I'm delighted to have joined Plukka as Managing Director.
And now to your manufacturing and distribution agreement you've recently signed with Trellis Worldwide. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
I'm delighted to be talking to you about the Trellis agreement today. We signed this just yesterday, so it's still exciting news for us. Trellis is an upstream diamond cutter and polisher, and by partnering with them, it's a strategic partnership that enables us to move up the value chain. There are a couple of key advantages to this. The first is that we're able to combine our data to make sure that we're focused on the most commercially viable products at any given time. Trellis know a lot about the market because they produce jewellery for many distributors across the world, and we understand the downstream consumer very well. By bringing that together, we're able to combine that information to be more effective. The second point is that the partnership with Trellis enables us to focus on our Plukka range and really developing our own brand. We can use their manufacturing expertise to make sure that we are building the best possible range that we can focus on. Clearly our own range commands higher margins, so this has a positive effect on our margin in the business in general. The third point is that we're very excited to be able to launch an incubation program, and Trellis is really a key component of that. It's worth noting that one of the key barriers to entry for a new jewellery designer is that they need to invest the gold, the diamonds, the expensive raw materials to be able to make their first range. By partnering with Trellis, we can go to the top design schools in the world, for example, a Parsons, and take the most creative students there and create that first range for them with some commercial criteria that we get from the data sharing that I mentioned, so that we get exclusivity with new designers in the most creative means possible, while making sure that as Plukka we're not taking on the additional inventory risk. Trellis are able to manufacture that on our behalf.
And to financials now, what are the near-term financial goals of the company, and what's the company's current cash position?
We raised 10 million Australian dollars at the end of last year via our RTO, so we're in a strong cash position moving forward. We're really in the growth and acceleration phase. We've laid the foundation for a strong growth program over the next couple of years. Our revenue last year was just under 2 million Australian dollars at a 40% gross margin, and we plan to maintain that gross margin going forward, but really start to build on our revenue. Ideally, we'd like to see 2.5x growth over the next year or so, starting to really build on what we've got so far and last year's success.
So what's your growth strategy going forward?
Our growth strategy centers around a couple of different things. The first is the incubation program that I just mentioned, and really leveraging our partnership with Trellis, both to take on the ideas and the designers that they bring to us, the partnerships that they can give us access to, as well as developing our own brand and incubating designers under our own name. The second is continuing to open stores. We see a huge correlation between the offline and the online, and we are a bricks and clicks model. For example, we had a temporary store in New York on 77th and Madison, and by virtue of having that presence in New York, we actually saw an increase of sales across the country. So we really can see that link very clearly. As such, we're looking to open an additional store in the US, ideally a permanent store. And that will reinforce our bricks and clicks model. Then the third piece is we are looking to drive as much traffic online as possible, and a lot of our marketing and a lot of our focus over the next 6 to 12 months will be on driving digital sales via a variety of different channels, paid, online, and then things like SEO, getting our name recognized, getting backlinks, and ensuring that we're at the forefront of the jewellery consumer's mind.
And finally, Natalia, what's the focus for the company for the next few months, and where would you like to see the company a year from now?
The focus for the next few months will be on a couple of things. The first is really leveraging our brand new website. We have a new e-commerce platform that came out a couple of weeks ago that we think really represents the luxury prestige of our brand and is much easier for consumers to interact with. So we're looking forward to seeing a positive impact from that, and we'll be focusing there in the immediate short term. We'll also be looking at our marketing calendar over the rest of the year. We're focused quite heavily on the promotion of our new store in London that opened earlier this year, and we'll be looking to have a fairly full marketing calendar in the US, including an event. We sponsor Watermill in New York in July. A year from today, my hope is that we will have doubled our revenue, and we will be well on our journey towards profitability and a cash break-even towards the middle of 2018.
Natalia Obolensky, thanks for the update on Plukka.
Thank you very much for having me.